Greetings, welcome to the second NAMAZAKE of the week. I'm featuring the wonderful Yucho Shuzo from Nara Prefecture. This is called Kaze no Mori, Wind of the Woods, and it is a Junmai Muroka Nama Genshu. So this one is from a prefecture which is known for being the birthplace of sake. And they are very famous for a particular yeast starter technique called Bodaimoto. I previously mentioned that this was a Bodaimoto, but Yucho Shuzo has a separate brand for their Bodaimoto called Takacho. This is Kaze no Mori. So this one is actually a brand representing innovation and modernization in the sake industry. So I highly enjoy this because it is similar to the one we had 2 days ago, but the SMV is much lower. So it's still in the dry realm, but it is 2.5, so plus 2.5. So it is a clear sake. It has a touch of CO2, so there's a little bubble here. And the color, I would say, is a very pale yellow. Again, this is Muroka, which means it hasn't been charcoal filtered, and it still has some of its natural color. So on the nose, you get a lot of like a kind of a yeast malt kind of scent to it. There's some tropical fruit, there's some pear, a little bit of apple. It's much more fruit forward than the previous sake, even though it has all the same categories. The alcohol content is 17%. This is a Genshu, so it has not been diluted with brewing water, but it's a degree ABV lower than the previous as well. So on the palate, I had tasted this about an hour and a half ago, and it was a little more stark, but now it has opened up. There's a lot of fruit on the palate, a lot of maybe like papaya or richer stone fruit aromas, and the texture is quite rich too. There is a hint of umami, so I'd say a light amount of umami. The acidity is there, cutting through, and there's also a bit of residual sugar. Even though it is plus 2.5, which is still the dry realm, this has a little bit of RS, I'm noticing. Probably around 3 to 4 grams per liter, but it's still noticeable and it brings out a lot of the fruit that exists. So when it comes to the yeast starter technique, they're just doing sokujo method, which is adding lactic acid manually, and that will protect the yeast starter. It will make the yeast the dominant microorganism in the yeast starter, or the moto or the shubo, all mean the same thing. When it comes to bodaimoto, you're using raw rice combined with steamed rice. You're letting it sit in water for 3 days, and then you're getting something called soyashi mizu, and that is a sour water. And that is a water that has a lot of lactic acid in it. So the origins of this type of yeast starter come from a place called Shoryakuji Temple in Nara Prefecture. It's at the foot of Bodaisen Mountain, and the water nearby has a lot of lactic acid bacteria. And this is one of the first ways that sake brewers protected their yeast starter and made a powerful beginning to the moromi, or the main fermentation. So for pairings, I would say this would go great with just simple sliced fruit, cantaloupe, honeydew, sliced strawberries, maybe like a delicate matcha cake. You could do it with, you can do it with some delicate sashimi. It could handle maybe some grilled chicken. This is a very prominent sake. It has a lot of power and intensity, so I feel that this is something you can drink on its own, or if you are going to do a pairing, try to make sure that it's not something overly complicated that will kind of distract from the flavor profile of this one. Now that I'm tasting it again though, because when I opened it before, it was a little less open and exuberant, I did feel it could be a very good aperitif, especially when it had the little CO2 still existing. For pairings, yes, again, I would probably do more delicate foods, but I would definitely maybe even try unagi roll, sushi roll, or I'm just feeling a little bit of like glazed miso cod. That would work, because you have the savory element that works with the umami that also contrasts with the fruity palate, and then that kind of maltiness that you're getting since it is an namazake. So we have one more nama this week, and I'm excited to show it to you, so check it out. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. If you don't like the alerts, make sure you click off that little bell, because it will alert you in your email. I know that can be annoying, but if I do get to 100 subscribers, then I can change my URL and it doesn't look so strange and complicated and unprofessional. So please help me and subscribe if you like my channel. The videos will continue to get better, and I will see you later.